Have you guys noticed that they never punch up? They're always punching down. Asmongold. That's our topic for today. I want to talk about Asmongold and people like Asmongold. You know, we've seen them over the past few decades. People like Bill Maher, who has risen and fallen from grace these days, or the likes of Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. And now, Asmongold has taken the lead in the race. These guys might look differently, they might act differently, they might have different religions, but at the end of the day, they are one and the same. They are one and the same because they all follow the same pattern. Let me let you guys know what their secret is. They try to portray themselves as being real or honest or authentic. But in reality, they just have a vile personality and they say the F word a lot. That's what they do. But what's really interesting about what they do is, have you guys noticed that they never punch up? They're always punching down. They're always on the side of the oppressor. They are never on the side of the oppressed. And they are also somehow always aligned with whatever the State Department talking points are. This is a calculated risk. This whole formula is a calculated risk by them. They all abide by one core concept, one religion, the religion of the grift. And not grifting for anyone. They're grifting for the US empire. So you might think that these pseudo-intellectuals have something that they base their opinions on, right? You know, as an intellectual, as a scientific mind, as a rational mind, what you would normally do is you'd gather the evidence, you'd gather your proof, and then make a conclusion based on that, right? That's what you're supposed to do. No, not these guys. These guys are well beyond that. What they do is they get their talking points and then they build the excuses for that talking point. Let me explain further. Let me give an example. These guys literally self-imagine a make-believe world. They hallucinate a world where things like gay people being thrown off the rooftops in Muslim countries is something that happens on a daily basis. And since we're just hallucinating things, I want to talk about the real crime that's really happening in the West. Baldness. No. Not male baldness, female baldness. Why? Well, the Bible literally says in Corinthians 11:5-6, but every wife who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors her head, since it is the same as if her head were shaven. Can you believe that? Can you believe that, guys? Can you guys believe that? This can only be the absolute truth. Every single woman in the West is bald. I have decided that every single woman in the West is absolutely bald. And not only bald, they need our saving. I need to save them. I, a Muslim man in an Arab country, need to save the women in the West. I sound absolutely insane. I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. And then these guys have the audacity, these pseudo-intellectuals have the audacity to talk like that, and then they're literally called intellectuals. Beacons of hope. My take of the crime of baldness in Western civilization is word to word what these intellects are doing. They take a verse, they have no idea what it means. They consider Arabs a monolith, and then they consider every single Arab implementing it to the teeth. And then they come to the conclusion, like this pretentious idiot.
And when we went to dinner, your parents at the table. Yeah, that wouldn't fly in Gaza, although you would straight off a roof. The same goes for knee-deep on the passenger seat and you're eating me out. Yeah, my guess is the morality police would figure out that one's not about the drive-thru.
Gay people being thrown off the roofs. I want to scratch my neck out. He's so annoying, I want to scratch my neck out. I cannot believe that they call themselves intellects. But, you know, let's take it one step at a time. I'm getting worked up. You know, at least, if they don't have sound intellect, at least their heart is in the right place, right? After all, if they care about LGBT and women's rights 2,000 miles away, it's only logical that they are stalwart supporters at home, where they have much more material and direct impact on their own communities.
I'm salty that it was obviously a diversity pick because she's a woman.
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
It's not delusion.
Why would you call it delusion?
Because Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's
that's
her. You're not being polite.
So anyway, I think it's a really bad look. But like when all these other people that are like streamers like Casey Tron, Senna, like Fan, they all call him like a retarded fucking loser freak. Like it's just, it's like, what the fuck is this? Like it's just so vitriolic and aggressive that I think it just makes them look bad. She a moron. She a straight fucking retard. To be honest, you have a girlfriend or a wife that puts you in positions like this and talk himself off a bridge that she put him on. Holy fuck, man. A woman like this will ruin your life. Unattractive, ugly women that feel insecure whenever they have characters that are more attractive than they are in the game. So every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. That's what I believe.
As I always say, these guys work backwards, that they never punch up. They're always punching down. They're always on the side of the oppressor. They are never on the side of the oppressed. I consider these guys an arm of state-sponsored propaganda, literally. They don't have conviction. They have no opinions. Their opinions are ever changing, depending on what benefits these Western governments at the time. So that's one example how they're both intellectually and morally bankrupt. Let's take another example. Let's take the example of them and their hatred for religion. And you know, I understand some people have hatred for religion due to the pressures of religion, their upbringing, you know, sometimes it even carries on to our adulthood. And that's a normal thing. But what's odd about these guys? What's odd about these guys is their fanatical support for the state of Israel. You know, that doesn't make sense. You know why? Israel, the racist settler colonial project, which has sterilized black Jewish women from Africa, that state, and if it wasn't bad enough that they're a racist settler colonial state, they're also a Jewish religious supremacist state. It's literally an ethno-state. Unlike the Grift gang make-believe world where gays are being thrown out of rooftops, this actually exists. This is actually happening live. Even if you're a third-generation immigrant from Poland living in Brooklyn, you know, you can do what this guy did.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is gonna steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it, ya ammi. Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? What are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
It's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
you are stealing my house.
This is what a religious supremacist ethno-state is. You know, I get it if you hate Iran or Saudi Arabia for being religious theocracy or monarchy. I get it. But you should have more smoke for the state of Israel. Israel is literally the big boss here. Any culturally Jewish person, even non-religious Jews, even if you're not really following the Torah, you don't believe in Judaism, you're just culturally Jewish, you can be considered a first-class Israeli citizen. You can be from China, it doesn't matter. You will be considered then immediately a first-class Israeli citizen. You have more rights than Palestinians who have been living there for thousands upon thousands of years. Israel is the big boss if you're looking at it from a racist settler colonial perspective. But they're also the big boss if you're looking at it from religious extremism. So what's up with that? What's up with that? How are these pseudo-intellectuals who hate religion somehow the biggest fans of Israel? And you know what's funny? What's even funnier? That these guys hate religion because they apparently claim that religion is the source of all evil. Religion kills millions upon millions of people. Yet, when they're confronted with the facts, this is how they react.
These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. Oh, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. And how much did they kill? As many as they can.
Literally a genocide supporter. Literally doing what you claim religion does. And if this wasn't bad enough, you also apparently thought it was a good idea to tweet this out, you know? This remind you guys of anyone? You know? Someone German? Possibly named Hitler? You're literally advocating for a Hitlerian euthanization program. Bro, do you think if society had to vote on who to get rid of, the person who has a dead rat as an alarm clock, I'm pretty sure he would be first on the list. I'm pretty sure he would be up there.
The thing is, I used to use a dead rat as an alarm clock, actually, for my stream. Because basically what happened was, whenever the sun would come up, it would start cooking the corpse of the rat, and then it would start smelling again, and then the smell would wake me up.
So I'm surprised. I've never seen in my entire life someone advocate for his own genocide. I've never seen that. If you guys have, I've never seen that. But this is the first for me. And that's just 2 examples, and I can go on and on with different examples. But at the end of the day, their religion has one rule. Their religion literally has one rule. As I said, whatever the state line is, they will talk about it, they will push it, and then they will find the excuses for it. They work backwards. So now you might be asking yourself the important question, how do I spot the next Asmongold, the next Bill Maher? Actually, it's very easy. It's very easy to spot them in the wild. They have 3 characteristics. First, they have this holier than thou, pretentious attitude that makes you want to scratch your neck out. You just want to kill yourself. They are so unbearable. They are so unbearable. That's what you should start to feel. So that's 1. 2, they are the embodiment of what a male Karen would do. They're literally what a male Karen would do. Just look at this.
I might put in a police report. I haven't decided. This type of bad behavior has gone on Twitch for too long. And it's time for it to stop.
You know, I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you.
I think Twitch will probably have to ban her. I really don't even think that there's a way around it.
And I think it's a big problem. I do. I think that Twitch needs to send them like a notice of trespass. Like, if you do this again, we will press charges.
Especially if they don't permaban her, I will absolutely look and see what my legal options are for something like this. Make sure that this is reported, because this is crazy. I'm going to put this up. If Twitch does not ban this person for at least 2 weeks by next Tuesday. Well, if I'm trying to hold the platform accountable for allowing people on the platform that openly commit felonies. Yeah, I went too far. Yeah, this is like a felony. Like, it's not even a question. Like, it's too dangerous. Yeah, this is, like, what is this?
3, I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this, so I'll have someone else speak for me. White people. Calm down. Calm down. I was just kidding. There's black guys, there's Muslims, there's all races. Calm down. I wasn't about to do a white genocide. I know how soft you guys get. A black guy marries a blonde girl, that's considered white genocide. Immigrants coming into your country, they're looking for a better life, that's considered white genocide. Mishari claiming that white people are grifting, that's white genocide. I'm just kidding. Calm down, calm down. And with that said, I want to have some final concluding remarks. If you spot any of them in the wild, well, unlucky you.